Okay, so in this part of the course, we're going to learn about different types of questions you can expect in an UK interview. So understanding the different types of questions will keep you informed about how to answer these questions and what the expectations are of you for these answers that you're going to give. So there are initially, you can categorize 4 different types of questions in UK interviews. So the categories are, so we have the first one is situational competency or behavioral types of questions. So these questions ask you to give specific examples of times in your previous career where you have demonstrated a competency or a skill. So for example, give an example of a time you dealt with conflict in a team. So this is a competency-based question. Any question that starts with give an example of a time or tell us a time when, it's always situational competency or behavioral focused. So you'll be able to identify this with the question, and then you will understand what is expected for the answer. And then we've got strengths-based questions. So these are like, what's your biggest weakness? What's your biggest strength? And what has been your biggest achievement? So these types of questions are more open-ended, more vague, but they're trying to identify your main strengths. So again, going back to that exercise where you have the mind mapping activity about listing your strengths, this is going to help you prepare for strength-based questions. Motivational types of questions are ones, for example, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So this is a really common interview question asked in the UK at the moment across all industries. So this is where they're trying to identify how ambitious you are, what are your career aspirations, what are your current career objectives, do you set yourself career objectives? So it's to identify your core motivation with your career, your commitment to your professional development, and those kind of aspects. And the last one we have is hypothetical. So hypothetical questions are ones such as, how would you respond if you were asked to redo a task by your manager? Okay, so this is not for asking you to provide an example of a situation that has happened in your previous career or career to date. It's asking you what you would do if a future situation occurred. So this is where they're trying to identify how you would respond to challenges, how you deal with problems, how resilient you are, how flexible you are as well. And you would be expected to give quite an in-depth answer to this type of question and give them an insight into how you would respond in hypothetical situations. So these are the 4 types of questions that you can expect in the UK. So now we're going to move on to how you would approach preparing an answer for each of these types of questions.